Hello everybody, my name's Starrapter and I'm not going to Celebration this year. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon. If you are new to the show, every week I break down everything new in the Star Wars universe that connects back to the movies. It could be anything such as the TV series, the novels, the comics, and to the video games. And this week, we finally got the long-awaited release of Star Wars Thrawn. This is written by the legendary Timothy Zahn, and just giving you guys a bit of a history. So, one of the first novels I ever read in the Star Wars universe was Heir to the Empire. I'm pretty sure lots of people can say that as well, as that was one of the very first titles. So that got me really into reading sci-fi and everything else that I read. And Timothy Zahn created this character of Thrawn that just was the best thing that I've read as far as a villain in the book. This guy was up there with Vader and the Emperor. So now with the release of this book, it's kind of like we are coming full circle. We get the first canonical story in the new Lucasfilm continuity with Thrawn, written by the guy that created him, and wow, it's awesome. So I got this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. It comes with this really cool poster of Thrawn, as well on the backside it's got the Del Rey timeline. So I'm going to give you guys my first impression of the novel. Picked it up yesterday. I'm almost about halfway through, so I did quite a bit of reading. And without spoiling anything, this is the book. If you are a Thrawn fan, this is like his origin story about how he gets assimilated into the Empire. So there's such really cool places that they go. They, deal with, the Empire being very, xenophobic. They only like to deal with humans. So seeing a Chiss that is kind of going through the ranks, he's getting picked on and stuff like that. But he's also got this cool companion that his name is Eli, and he is basically a guy from Wild Space, so he's also looked down upon because he's not from the core world. So you got him as a translator for Thrawn, and it's them just rising through the ranks. It's really cool. This is one of the best first chapters in one of these canon stories I've read so far. It's almost got this like horror vibe. I really enjoyed it, and the way that Timothy Zahn writes is just great. And honestly, I love what he's doing with the character of Thrawn as far as dialogue. So he's invented this language which is called Psi Beastie, which is basically what Eli and Thrawn have in common. So it's this created language of these certain words they say, and it's just very interesting. But what I really like is how interwoven throughout the dialogue we have Thrawn. You get to see from his point of perspective. He actually has heightened infrared senses with, infrared vision with his red eyes. He can also hear. So a lot of times people are speaking, and in italicized words, he's saying like, oh, that person's throat muscles are tightening, or I can sense the heat rising in his face. Like, he can actually have a one-up on people as far as being able to tell what they're doing. And already through halfway through this book or whatever, I've seen so many instances where Thrawn has displayed his genius, of course. And this is how he keeps rising in the ranks of the Empire. He's doing these things where he's always two steps ahead of people. He's willing to take risks. He's willing to spring traps. I don't want to talk any more about this because I want to get back to reading it, of course, but I want to make sure you guys know what you're getting yourselves into, because this is not going to be a Lords of the Sith type of novel where there's action everywhere. I mean, if you know the character of Thrawn, you kind of know what to expect. So just don't go into this thinking this is going to be one of the most Star Warsy action swashbuckling adventures you've ever read. This is more filled with kind of political intrigue. So far I'm really enjoying it. Did you guys start reading a Thrawn? Let me know in that comment section below. But we also had another issue of Doctor Aphra. We had issue number 6 of Doctor Aphra. This finishes up her first arc. So last we left off, we had Doctor Aphra on that planet with her father. They were exploring the Ordo Aspectu, and we had this Ra character, and so they actually awoken this character. He actually, basically what happens is he embeds himself into basically making these droids all function, kind of spreading his sentience around. And they figure that this whole story between the Jedi and Ordo Aspectu, the Jedi ended up back in ancient times before the Republic. There's all this really great lore that's explored in this story, but basically this is one of those Indiana Jones type of adventures where they awaken this powerful foe, and he ends up coming alive with all the robots at the same time. The Imperials are also searching for Aphra after what she did on Yavin, so we have basically this story of them trying to get out, and you know, they do get out of there with the help of the Imperials and the shuttle, because last we remember, we had the Black Kirstentin and the droids kind of take the ship and leave, so they kind of just left Aphra and her father high and dry. But this ends in a great, fantastic way for ending the first arc, where we do see that trust between Aphra and her father. Aphra does get her title of Doctor back, which is great, but we do see her not exactly go along with the plan, and unknowingly to her father, she ends up taking that crystal that she, you know, he thought she put away in good keeping. She takes that for herself, and she's gonna go and make some more money. So I really did enjoy this last issue of this current arc. I just want to talk about the entire first arc of Doctor Aphra in general. I think we got exactly what I wanted, and maybe a little bit more. We learned so much more about the ancient lore of Star Wars in general. I think this has that great Indiana Jones vibe. It's got that humor. The art style is just fantastic, especially going into some things I specifically liked about this issue was the artwork was great. I loved the use of the color palette. We had the greens, and we had a lot of reds, you know, kind of sprinkled throughout this thing, and just the way the panel designs were and the characters' expressions. I feel like the art in this is always really solid. It is always really consistent, and you know, I think you guys should definitely pick up Doctor Aphra. It is the most unique storytelling in Star Wars that we've seen so far, and it kind of just weaves in, you know, stuff we know about Star Wars, but then brings something new to the table, probably more than any of the other Star Wars Marvel comics have done so far. So that is going to do it for this week in Star Wars canon. Let me know what you thought about Doctor Aphra number 6 in that comment section below. Are you guys looking forward to the Screaming Citadel miniseries? By the way, I am going to be covering as much as I can the Star Wars Celebration news and stuff like that. I'm going to be trying to do trailer breakdowns and reactions to everything coming out this week, so make sure if you aren't already subscribed to this channel, you do so you don't miss any of those updates. I'm Starrapter, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always. So, did you like the video? Then make sure you rate it a thumbs up, and if you did that, go over there, hit that Starrapter head so you subscribe to my channel. Doing so will keep you up to speed on all of my latest content, speaking of which you can see a couple of my recent uploads down below. I'm also on social media, so what are you waiting for? Let's start nerding out!